welcome to Tiny Teacup Reads. Today I have a book review for you for Agnes Grey. This book was published in 1847 and is about 220 pages long. This was written by Anne Bronte, who is probably the least well-known of the Bronte sisters. Charlotte Bronte wrote Jane Eyre, and Emily Bronte is of course famous for writing Wuthering Heights, both of which I have read and loved, but Anne was actually the first of the three to publish her book under the pseudonym of Acton Bell. She only wrote one other book before she died of tuberculosis at the age of 29. I watched a documentary on the three sisters earlier this year, and it really shows how much of Agnes Grey was inspired by her own life. The titular Agnes is the daughter of a minister, just how Anne herself was the daughter of a clergyman. When Agnes's father makes some bad investments and the family finds themselves in a tough financial situation, Anne offers to go and get a job as a governess. She has been raised as a very intelligent and accomplished young lady, although she and her older sister has never mixed too much with society, again mirroring Anne's own life. She and her siblings were known to be very big readers, but the family grew up pretty isolated. Agnes's family is at first hesitant to let her leave, believing that she doesn't really have what it takes to make it on her own, but she is firm and eventually gets her family's blessing. She finds a position as a governess with the Bloomfield family. She only spends a year there. The children are very unruly, and the eldest son has a disturbing fondness for killing and dismembering small animals. So after a year, she goes back to her family and eventually finds a position with the Murray family. Here the children are older and she is in charge of the education of two teenage girls. Again, the children are pretty unpleasant, and although she's treated a little bit better, she still isn't happy. But then the church gets a new clergyman, a Mr. Weston, and the two of them begin a tentative friendship. That, however, is thwarted very quickly by the eldest Murray daughter, who has her own sights set on Mr. Weston as a way to lure him away from Agnes and to prove that she can get any man that she wants. I don't want to spoil it for you because I was at the edge of my seat towards the end of this book, because knowing the Bronte sisters, this could have gone either way. Either Agnes could have gotten the happy ending that she wanted, or she would have ended up alone. But I really love this book. It's not going to be for everyone. I think if you haven't read a whole lot of classics, this probably isn't the best one to start with. It is easily written, the language is never complicated, it's easy to understand, but it is pretty slow and never written in a way that is flashy. It's very much about day-to-day life. The writing style is very much what we would not consider engaging now, so I know some people would find it boring. It did take me a little bit to get into it, as it often happens with classics, but once I did, I got so invested in Agnes and her life and what's going to happen to her. And I thought it was so interesting to read three books by three different sisters and see the similarities and differences in those. I feel like the three books exist on kind of a spectrum. We have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, which really leans into the whole gothic elements. We have heartbreak and death and possibly ghosts. Then we have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, which explores the life of a governess. It also has slight gothic elements, bit of a spooky vibe, but it is very much grounded in reality. Then we have Agnes Grey, which is also about a governess, but fully rooted in reality. There's no gothic elements here at all. And then we have Agnes Grey, which is also about a governess, but fully in reality. There's no gothic elements here at all. And it feels like the most autobiographical of the three. I do see how Agnes Grey is the least popular of those three. It is a lot more simple than the other two. But I really enjoyed it, and I think it's underrated, and I think more people should give it a try. That's my review. I personally loved it and gave it 5 stars, but I know it's not going to be for everyone. So if you have any recommendations for similar books, classics that are written by and about women, especially working class women, please let me know in the comments, because I want to read more. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye!